Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel. I'm Andrew, with you here as always. This is the Commando News Network, where we cover news, updates, and happenings from around the world of gaming and other related areas. This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando. Hello everyone, it is June 18th, 2020, and this is the Commando News Network. So today we're going to be covering news from Star Wars Destiny, Star Wars Legion, Argent Saga, Flesh and Blood, as well as some other things just happening in and around the world that you may be interested in gaming. So first, let's cut over to the announcement coming out of Star Wars Celebration. As many of you know, that was scheduled for 2020. However, with everything going on, I don't think it really surprises anybody to see the announcement that has been canceled for this year. Interestingly enough, they have rescheduled it for roughly the same time frame-ish in 2022, right? So they're not even taking the chance. They're just assuming that 2021 next summer will still be under something, and they're just going for 2 years from now. So if you are involved in that in any way, or if you're just curious, you can click there, go to their site. The link's available there for how to get refunds or to transfer it forward to that. But what we'll be interested is, or what's interesting is that it is going to be in Anaheim again, which is where it was going to be for 2022. So if you weren't planning on already going, or you couldn't go, now you'll have a chance in another 2 years, right? So, all right, next piece of exciting info for the Star Wars fans out there was EA announced a new game late last week. Friday kind of started flying around, and then on Monday of this week, we got the reveal trailer for Star Wars Squadrons. Looks very cool. Harkens back to kind of the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter days back when I was in middle school in the Wayback Machine. But it looks like it's some sort of 5x5. There have been a bit of gameplay trailers out there kind of flying around, but if you are interested in more about that, you can go check out EA's site. It is all over there. Great artwork, really cool stuff. It does look like Wedge Antilles was even spotted in there. All right, so moving into the gaming news, kind of the games we cover on this channel, I actually want to start today with Flesh and Blood. So they had a big announcement come out on the 18th of June. Now remember, this is New Zealand, so it actually came out yesterday, the day before this. They're introducing the Play Anywhere. So what basically this is, in summary, is Play Anywhere. They're acknowledging that many places in the world are unable to meet at LGSs or unable to have large tournaments. So fundamentally, what Play Anywhere is it's a way for people who are still under lockdown or not able to get into events. They can essentially have tournaments or events in their home with their friends and family, and they can run it on their own, and it will count towards their progress for making it to Road to Nationals, national championships, and such. So this is a really cool thing. Again, I don't think it's very surprising, because we see great stuff like this coming out of that company all the time. They have great ideas. They're really pushed forward. They're very innovative. So huge shout out there. So again, check out the Play Anywhere if that's what you're interested in. I would like to really see a lot more games do something like this, or try to do something like this, where they're just acknowledging that, it's time to change, that for the time being we have to approach things in a different manner. And I think that, whether this works out or not, I think it shows very progressive thinking, and major props to those guys. In other news, of course, and this is from a couple weeks back, we do know that the new FAB set is coming out in roughly August of this year. No new champions, so to speak, but it sounds like a bunch of support for the previous champions that we have, possibly new weapons, at the very least a bunch of new stuff that will fit in and give a lot of options within those, right? Because as we know, most of the champions now only have the one option of the weapon. So hoping for a lot of options, kind of expanding and spreading the gameplay around. So also very exciting there. All right, we also got some news out of Argent Saga this week. They had been kind of quiet. They had kind of taken the quiet approach, kind of figuring out what to do, which, is perfectly reasonable in a highly competitive game, mainly driven by events. When you can't meet for events, what do you do? So the product announcement this week is the Loot Box Collection, Now they're starting this off with the Return of the Hero loot box. So this is a $99.99 product, one of them. And what you see here, what we're showing, are you get a full play set of those four. They're not champions, but they're four very good units. And actually, it's kind of cool. They're units that we're used to. You see Yuki on there, which is a promo card. You see GZ on there, which is a promo card. Ash was a promo card all way in the Wayback Machine. Nanatsu as well. And those guys are now coming back in different forms that actually encourage multi-color play, right? If you recall, Ascension kind of refocused on a bunch of mono play to a certain extent. So now we're getting just a lot of different options out there. What's really interesting about this is it comes in a box. It's basically going towards a loot crate type of model. So this is going to be the first. Now they do acknowledge that this $99.99 box is actually roughly double what they will be charging for the future, which is basically a subscription-based service. So that's really all the information we have on that. Now, again, what I'm showing is what's posted, and that's really all that we know, right? Will there be exclusive cards only to that? We don't know. You also get a bunch of other product in there, just like any other type of loot crate or subscription service, or Bark Box, anything like that you may be familiar with. It's really going that model. So is this the future of the CCG where they can't necessarily have that store as the middleman? I don't know. We will see. I also did see some stuff from Argent Saga that they are the draft kit for Ascension, right? As you guys may recall, Ascension was set to release the weekend basically that the United States went into COVID lockdown pretty much across the board. Many places were not able to have their release tournaments for Ascension. And as such, there's a lot of draft kits. It looks like they have on back order. They are actually offering draft kits to be sold to individuals to basically run a draft in your home, right? Very similar to kind of something we saw with FAB. They are just trying to get people the experience to play in their homes so that the games just don't fall off the face of the earth. And I think that's a really cool move to make it more accessible. Right, moving into Star Wars Legion. So for all the Legion guys out there, it's been a rough go for the last, with Alliance kind of being shut down, Fantasy Flight kind of went into a turtle mode, and a lot of people's products weren't coming, right? Specifically Cassie and Iden. The AAT I know was a big one, right? A lot of pre-orders were not being delivered. That's really the big news we've seen over the last 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 to 4 weeks even, is that those pre-orders starting to show up. We're starting to see AATs in the wild, starting to see the videos, paintings on that. Crabbuck's doing a bunch of stuff over on his channel. Make sure to go check him out. But on top of that, we actually got real tangible news from FFG. We actually got an article, right? So what I'm showing up right now is the Padme article that came yesterday on the 17th. I would presume, hopefully, that we'll get the Cad Bane article, right? Because those two are counterparts. We'll probably get that next week or the week after, right? They're not really truly on a timeline now because everyone's kind of lowered their expectations on news, and FFG used to post something every day, and now it's maybe once a week or something like that. So we'll see when we get it, but I think it's reasonable to expect that the CAD article is coming soon. But back to focusing on Padme, it's a full reveal of everything coming. You can go in there, you can click on all of her various cards. She's a very unique character, as you would expect, because she kind of uses command. She can move. She can activate other units instead of she can activate other units instead of herself. She can move tokens around to kind of free up other units. So she's really facilitating units. So she really brings something very different to the clones that to the Galactic Republic that they don't currently have. So I think that's a very exciting one to really go check out. All right, moving into Destiny news. So as far as Destiny goes, really the last 1 to 2 weeks has really just been about card clarifications. The big one there is Viper Probe Droid, getting the clarification that with the way the triggers work, it can actually be used for multi-die. If you want more details on that, please go click on my quick hit video that I actually did kind of detailing that. Plus there's other information out there. We've also seen a couple other card rulings that came up just in the community asking about them. One of that was Rule of 2. The question around Rule of 2 was because it says right, I'm showing the card now, but what it says exactly one character die in your pool. You can resolve it at +1. Some people, and I guess largely our European-based friends, were playing that it was much like Forsaken, and that character die could be the only die in your pool. But the way that this card actually plays is that you could have 20 dice in your pool, but as long as you only have one character die, that one character die can be resolved, right? So you don't only have to have just one die in your pool. You can have as many dice as you want. As long as you only have one character die, then you can use it for rule of 2. The next one was kind of a more obvious one, but it has to do with some of the confusion around resolution, right? Many of you are familiar with the Ataru strike ruling. So the Ataru strike ruling with Luke, right, where he's showing a shield and you're resolving it as melee. And this one has to do with the Wookiee warrior and Obi-Wan's power action, right? This is Obi-Wan, Ardent Avenger. He can power action a die shooting a 2 of higher at +1. With the Wookiee warrior with the one side, or any Wookiee, I guess, with the one side who has 6 damage, you cannot target it with the power action because the power action targets something that's a 2. So even though you're resolving the die, and when it's the key on the Wookiee is when it's resolving, it gets that bonus. So a bunch of clarifications there, which is not too much of a surprise, right? People are starting to get bored with really what's out there right now. They're starting to experiment, which is fantastic. But when people start to experiment and run up in different things, different questions pop up. So that was the news for Star Wars Destiny. And for you Destiny guys who are looking to take it up a notch from TTS to a little something more competitive, don't forget about the Entourage Gaming Thursday night tournaments. Those have been a big hit. They've been keeping us going through the lockdown, keeping the competitive stuff on. A lot of people have been having a lot of fun with that, and they're doing a really good job with that. So if you're interested in getting involved with that, you will need to get in touch with their Discord and figure everything out from there. Last item today, just wanted to talk about Core Set 2021 for Magic the Gathering. No news here, it's been being talked about for years, and we've known obviously it's coming, but we're starting to see a bunch of cards revealed. Many of the different YouTubers and content creators out there are starting to cover the various different cards and all how that fits in. It's very exciting stuff. Additionally, we've seen previews for Jumpstart, which is a very unique Magic set with how the way the boosters work. It'll be interesting to see how that's received by the community. We're starting to see spoilers of that as well, so if that's something that you're interested in, if you're a big Magic fan, kind of a little different way to play it, maybe that is something you should go look at. So that's all the news we have for today. Thank you for joining me on the Commando News Network. This is something I plan on doing from time to time as a lot of news comes out. What I've noticed is that, and this is for me personally as well, right, a lot of us, given that there has been no news coming out or no consistent news coming out over the last several months during the lockdown, is we've stopped looking for that news every day. And what I'm finding is that between the various sources and just the effort and just the mindset that we have, a lot of stuff's being missed. Maybe not everybody's seeing anything. So the intent of this is just to kind of pull everything together and kind of offer up a news digest. So once again, thank you for joining me today, and if nothing else, go Commando.